Have you ever felt that the more you chase something, the more it runs away from you? As if the universe were playing tag with your desires? You work yourself to death, but the money disappears. You beg for that love, but the person pulls away. You pray for an answer, and all you get is silence. Here's the secret nobody told you: desperation is the biggest repellent of miracles. Neville Goddard revealed this decades ago, but almost no one truly understood it. When you seek something with anxiety, you're not manifesting, you're shouting to the universe, "I don't have this." And the universe, like a faithful mirror, replies, "I agree, keep it that way." But today, you're going to discover how to flip the game, how to stop being the chaser and become the magnet. Because true manifestation doesn't come from effort, it comes from a state that few dare to experience. Want to know what it is? Then don't skip this video, because what's coming next could change everything. You want something deeply. You miss it. You think about it every day. But no matter how much you wish for it, it seems the universe doesn't respond. Why? Because wanting alone is not enough. It's not about visualizing what you want with effort. It's about becoming the person who already has it internally. Before anything changes on the outside, you need to change on the inside. This isn't pretending. It's not about repeating empty phrases or walking around saying, "I'm rich," when you are in debt and full of fear. That would just be resistance in disguise. What Neville proposes is much deeper. It's accessing a state of consciousness where the desire has already been fulfilled and living from that place. Think about how you act when something is already yours. You don't doubt, you don't force, you just live. You trust. There's a relaxation, a softness, and it's exactly in that atmosphere that manifestation unfolds. You don't need something to happen to feel complete. You need to feel complete for something to happen. The external world is only a reflection of your internal world, and that reflection only changes when the source changes. You stop now and think of something you desire: money, a relationship, a new job. Now ask yourself, how would I feel if this were already real? Try to really feel it. Imagine the relief, the security, the joy. Imagine yourself living that reality, walking with it, waking up with it, smiling with it. Stay in that state for a few minutes. Feel as if it's already real, because to your consciousness, it is. And most importantly, remain in that state throughout your day. When doubt hits, return to that feeling. When anxiety shows up, breathe and remember, it is already done. You decided. You entered the state of someone who already has. You felt strong, confident, aligned. But the days go by, and nothing happens. No sign, no response, just silence. And then comes the doubt: is it working? Did I do something wrong? Between the desire and the manifestation, there is a space, an interval, a void, and it's not a mistake. This uncomfortable silence is an essential part of the process. It's not punishing you, it's testing you, it's shaping you to be able to hold what you asked for. It's in this interval that the universe is silently rearranging everything around you to reflect the new state you chose to embody. Think of the seed you plant in the ground. For a while, you see absolutely nothing, but that doesn't mean it's not growing. The invisible happens before the visible. The root always sprouts before the stem. But most people pull the seed out of the soil, thinking it was all in vain, and they never harvest anything. Neville Goddard invites us to understand this interval. It sets off alarms. Nothing is happening. Swing, but the soul, if you let it, will whisper, "Keep going, it's all on its way." When you feel frustrated by the lack of results, stop. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, this silence is proof that something is moving. Don't try to rush, don't try to figure out how, just stay present, grounded in the feeling of certainty. Silence is where faith grows stronger. You Use this time to take care of yourself, nurture your energy, go on with life like someone who already knows everything is falling into place. There's a mindset shift that changes everything. Nothing exists outside your consciousness. Nothing. Everything you see, experience, feel, or attract is a direct reflection of what you accept as true within yourself. This may sound bold at first, it might even be uncomfortable, but it's liberating. Because from the moment you understand that it's your consciousness that shapes reality, you stop blaming the world and start taking control of your life. Neville Goddard was clear: you don't live in a world separate from you, you live in a world reflected by you. Reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. The vibration you hold, the thoughts you accept as truth, the feelings you quietly harbor, all of that is shaping the world you live in, without exception. But we've been conditioned to believe the opposite. We think the external comes first, that we need to see to believe. But the real path is the reverse: you believe, and then you see. Your consciousness is the projector, and the world is the screen. Changing the film on the screen without swapping the reel and the projector is useless. In the same way, trying to change life out there without changing your consciousness is running in circles. Look at your current life, not with judgment, but with honesty. What's repeating? What's stuck? What keeps challenging you? Maybe it's a belief that you're not enough, that it's hard to make money, that love always ends. These patterns, once accepted as truths, become lived experiences, not because the world is cruel, but because your consciousness is creative. And here's the power: if it was created by you, it can be recreated by you. Everything starts within. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning and tried to change the reflection by moving the glass? Of course not, it sounds absurd. You change the reflection by changing yourself, right? So why do we try to change our lives by pushing, forcing, convincing, controlling what's outside? Because we forget a simple yet powerful principle: external reality is just a mirror. Everything you experience, every situation, every person who shows up, every opportunity or challenge is a direct projection of what's happening inside you. The world shows you, without filters, who you are being. Does that hurt? It can, but it can also set you free. Because if the world is a reflection, you no longer need to fix everything out there, you just need to transform yourself within. And then, as if by magic, the reflection changes, not by coincidence, but by alignment. Neville Goddard sums this up masterfully: as within, so without. Change the feeling, change the dominant thought, change the state of being, and watch the mirror begin to reflect something else. People change, situations dissolve, opportunities appear, not because you went chasing them, but because you became someone different on the inside. Choose an area of your life that feels out of alignment. It could be finances, love, health, any of them. Now ask, without fear, what is this situation reflecting about my inner state? Maybe it's scarcity, maybe it's a sense of unworthiness, maybe it's fear. Whatever it is, don't blame yourself, just recognize it, because only what is seen can be transformed. After that, decide, what version of me do I want to see? Feel how they feel, act as they would act. Stop trying to polish the mirror, start taking care of the image it reflects. You did everything right. You visualized, you felt it, you entered the state of already having. But then time passed, and nothing happened. So the temptation shows up to try and help it along, force a situation, ask about it, chase after it, push the universe with anxiety disguised as action. But here's what most people overlook: interfering is undoing. Neville Goddard was clear: once the state is assumed, your only job is to stay in it, not to mess with the backstage. When you try to control the how or the when, you're saying, without realizing it, I don't trust, and that feeling of doubt replaces the state of certainty you had cultivated. It's like planting a seed and then the next day digging up the soil to see if it sprouted. That doesn't help, it kills it. What you need to understand is the universe moves in the invisible first. The gears start turning silently the moment you assume the state. But if you panic, try to interfere, demand results, you fall out of alignment with the state of already having and return to the state of it's not here yet. You're not being passive by not interfering, you're being confident. There's a difference between inertia and faith. True faith doesn't demand immediate proof, it knows it already is. Feeling anxious, doing too much, watching the clock or your phone, waiting for a sign? Stop. Take a deep breath, return to the feeling of already having. Visualize for a moment that everything has already worked out, and ask yourself, if it were already done, would I be acting like this? If the answer is no, adjust, not because you're pretending, but because you're choosing to return to your state of power. We live in a world that idolizes doing. Take action, chase it, don't stop. And yes, there are moments when outer action is necessary. But when we talk about conscious manifestation, there's a kind of action that is infinitely more powerful and almost invisible: trust. Neville Goddard taught that true faith doesn't require proof, it creates the proof. And this silent, steady confidence is the most transformative action you can practice. But it's hard, right? Because we've been trained to believe that if we're not doing something, we're stuck, that if we're not forcing movement, it won't happen. But the universe doesn't respond to the amount of physical effort, it responds to the state of consciousness. And the most creative state that exists is that of unshakable certainty. When you truly believe something is yours, your energy shifts, you behave differently, you speak with a different tone, you breathe more calmly, you live as if it were surreal, and that's when the world starts to move in your favor. Confidence isn't inertia, it's an active choice. It's waking up every day and, even without immediate results, continuing to feel like someone who has already won. It's refusing to negotiate with fear, doubt, or urgency. That, my friend, is high-level action. If you were acting in a movie as someone rich, healthy, in love, confident, how would you move? How would you speak? How would you look others in the eye? Neville Goddard invites us to do exactly that, to live the role of the version of you that already is what you desire. You're not trying to be something you're not, you're revealing something that is already yours in potential. It's not enough to visualize an ideal reality for 5 minutes and then spend the rest of the day feeling small, afraid, or needy. Choose a desire you want to manifest now. Imagine the version of you who is already living it. If it's money, how would you behave when shopping? If it's a relationship, how would you treat yourself knowing you're loved? If it's health, how would you walk, speak, eat? You don't need to change everything at once. Small gestures with this new awareness already create a different field of reality around you. Where this new identity, put it in your body, take it to work, to breakfast, to conversations with friends. Repeat this state until it becomes natural. The greatest prison of the human mind might be this: time. The feeling that everything can only happen someday, that something is still missing, that you need to wait, improve, achieve, mature, and only then receive what you desire. But here's the raw truth Neville Goddard revealed, and most people don't understand. For consciousness, time doesn't exist. The future isn't far, it's already present in potential, and you access that potential by changing your state, not by counting the days. Consciousness operates in the now, always. It doesn't wait, it chooses. And that choice, which seems so subtle, is what opens the door between the invisible and the visible. Think of it this way: all versions of you already exist: the wealthy one, the in-love one, the healthy one, the creative one. They're all available, but you only experience the version you align with in the present. Reality doesn't change over time, it changes with a repositioning of your being. Most people miss this because they're always waiting for a sign, a not yet, a maybe someday. But if you say that one day you'll have it, you're affirming that today you don't, and that's what the universe reflects. Neville said, "Don't think of the desire, think from it." That means don't see your desire as something distant, see it as something real and current, and live from that place. Every time you say or think something like, "When this happens, then I'll be happy," stop. Allow yourself to feel what you would feel if you were already living it. Not tomorrow, not soon, now. Practice that feeling until it becomes familiar, and the more natural it feels, the faster it materializes. What you want to live isn't on the calendar, it's in your field of consciousness, and you can access it this very moment. You don't need to wait to become the version that attracts what you desire, you just need to choose it now, and the rest, it comes as a reflection. Most of us believe the past is set in stone, that what happened, happened, end of story. But Neville Goddard taught something radical and liberating. The past is also subject to your consciousness, and therefore, it can be rewritten. The revision technique is not about pretending something didn't happen, it's about changing the way your mind interprets what happened, and thus altering the ongoing effect that event has on your life. Because here's the secret, you don't live the past itself, you live the emotional consequences of it. If a negative experience created beliefs of limitation, pain, rejection, those beliefs continue to shape your present as an invisible echo. And that's where the power of revision comes in. Neville said, before going to sleep, mentally revisit the event that bothered you during the day or an older memory, and rewrite it the way you wish it had happened. If there was a fight, imagine peace. If you were rejected, imagine acceptance. If you lost something, imagine success. What matters is the emotional state you create, because by changing that, you change the pattern, and by changing the pattern, you change the timeline you were following. Yes, it sounds like magic, but it's pure consciousness. You're not trying to alter the past out there, you're transforming what's alive inside, and that has a direct impact on what you attract, what you repeat, and what you unlock. Tonight, before you sleep, choose a moment from the day that bothered you. Close your eyes, return to that scene, and now revise it. Change the words, change the tone, change the outcome. Feel how you would feel if it had happened the way you wanted. Over time, you can apply this to older memories, traumas, frustrations, injustices, everything can be revised. And when you change the inner past, the outer present begins to change as well. You're not a prisoner of your story, you are the author, and every author has the right to revise, rewrite, refine, not to deny the journey, but to free the future from the emotional chains of the past. You can change your entire life starting with a single memory. It's easy to doubt when everything is still in the realm of ideas, when reality hasn't shown signs, when the outside world looks the same. That's why hearing real stories of manifestation, especially those shared by Neville Goddard, is so powerful. They remind us of something essential: this works. Neville wasn't just a philosopher of consciousness, he was a messenger of real experiences. He didn't just speak about principles, he shared living proof sent in by ordinary people applying his teachings and getting extraordinary results. A woman wrote to Neville telling him how for months she imagined receiving a letter with the news that she had gotten a specific job at a company where there wasn't even an open position. She read and reread that letter mentally until she believed it was real. One day, out of nowhere, she received that exact letter with the same words she had rehearsed in her imagination. Another man, in debt and on the brink of bankruptcy, began to imagine himself every day holding a bank statement with a positive balance. He didn't do the math, didn't chase external miracles, he simply felt like someone who had already succeeded. Months later, an unexpected inheritance came and paid everything off. There are dozens, hundreds of cases like these recorded in Neville's lectures and writings. They're not exceptions, they're mirrors of what happens when someone decides to live from the state of already is. Seek out manifestation stories that inspire you. Neville's are pure gold. Read them with an open heart. Notice what these people did, what they felt, how they behaved. Now ask yourself, if it worked for them, why wouldn't it work for me? There's no one more special, The only difference is the level of commitment to the assumed state. Okay, everything's going well, but then you go on social media, you hear a story of someone who got everything in a week, you see friends thriving, getting married, traveling, achieving things, and suddenly what you were building inside collapses. Comparison is sneaky because it always comes with the subtle message that you're late, that something's wrong with you, that others know a secret you don't. But here's the raw truth. Every manifestation happens at the exact pace your consciousness can sustain. It's not a competition. When you compare, you step out of your state, you leave the already is and fall into why hasn't it come yet? And that disconnects you from creation. You stop being the creator and become the spectator again. Neville Goddard never said look at others' success as a benchmark. He said assume the state of your desire, and the world will mold itself to it. This is individual, your journey. Can't be measured by anyone else's ruler. You don't know what that person went through internally. You don't know what they had to heal, forgive, transform. And more importantly, what they manifested doesn't diminish in any way what's on its way to you. Comparison is scarcity in disguise. It's based on the idea that there's not enough for everyone, and you were left behind. But the truth is the opposite. The universe is abundant, and its flow is personal. Next time you feel the sting of comparison, stop and say to yourself, what's mine is already on its way, and someone else's victory is just proof that it's possible. Use others' achievements as inspiration, not as a measuring stick for judgment. Immediately return to your state, that quiet place where you know everything is unfolding in perfect timing, your timing. If you were absolutely certain that what you desire is going to happen, what would be your most natural reaction? You would give thanks. Gratitude in advance is one of the most powerful, subtle, and overlooked tools of manifestation. Neville Goddard didn't just talk about wishing, visualizing, and feeling. He spoke about emotionally acting as if it were already real, and the feeling of gratitude is perhaps the clearest signal that you believe. Gratitude carries a powerful magnetic, expansive vibration. When sincere, it dissolves anxiety, silences doubt, eliminates desperation. It's a direct sign that you've left the state of lack and entered the state of fulfillment, and then the universe, which responds not to your words but to your energy, obeys. Create the habit of giving thanks daily for something you don't yet have. It can be out loud, in a journal, or mentally. The format doesn't matter. What matters is the truth of the feeling. If you want a step-by-step method to do this the right way, if you're ready to finally take control of your reality and manifest your desires, join the Quantum Thinking Challenge. In 3 weeks, you'll learn how to reprogram your mind, raise your vibration, and unlock your full energetic potential. Are you ready? The link is in the first pinned comment. Don't wait for reality to change to be grateful. Change reality by being grateful now. From the beginning, you were guided by a single calling, to stop trying to force and start stepping into who you truly are. Because true manifestation doesn't come from doing more, it comes from being different. The world taught you to rush, to control, to chase, to prove. But the universe doesn't respond to your physical effort, it responds to the inner state you sustain. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And being doesn't require haste, it doesn't require shouting, it doesn't require control. Being is the opposite of anxiety. It's a place of stillness, of certainty, of ease, where desire doesn't hurt because it's already embraced within you. Neville Goddard wasn't teaching you magic. He was teaching you how to master your own field of consciousness, to realize that the external reality, the one you so desperately want to change, is nothing more than a reflection of your internal identity, of your state of being. Do nothing doesn't mean passivity. It means stop acting from doubt, urgency, or lack. It means not interfering out of fear, but rather sustaining with faith. It means allowing the world to rearrange itself around who you've chosen to be, without needing to shout for it to happen. You don't need to make it happen. You need to become someone for whom it's already natural. Tell me, who do you choose to be from this moment forward? That's the only question that matters. Because the moment you assume this new being, everything changes. You stop looking for signs, you stop comparing, you stop doubting. You act like someone who already has, you live like someone who already is, and then, without struggle, the universe obeys. And now, if you found this video insightful and want to learn more about manifesting your desires and understanding the power of your consciousness, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Don't miss out on future videos that can help you unlock your full potential. Hit that subscribe button and join our community.